Welcome back. Let us continue with 5.5. The end game. Well, not end game, but we're in the end game now of Shadowbringers. I love this expansion so much. Alright, let's proceed, shall we? Good news, Akira. Thancred and Uranji have finished their tour of Garlemald and are on their way back here even as we speak. As we still haven't heard anything on the towers from the Alliance, I'm hoping they might be able to shed some light on things. They're due to arrive any moment now, so let's see what they have to say, eh? Ah, welcome you party. You didn't need to have gone to the trouble. From what I hear, you've been more than busy enough as it is. Honestly, you might have waited for me to return before discovering a cure for tempering. As it is, I can't even pretend to have been involved. Well, if there's any consolation, I myself was little more than a specter. The lion's share of the credit must go to Aze, Graha, and Akira. But I believe I speak for the rest of us when I say we are proud to have rendered what little assistance we could. As you will also have heard, though, it hasn't all been tales of triumph. Just as we were taking a step towards finally addressing the primal threat, a pile of fresh problems landed in our lap. Anyway, it's good to have you back. Though I can't help noticing that we're one Orange short of a scouting party. You haven't lost him, have you? Oh, I couldn't lose him if I tried. And I did try repeatedly, but no, he decided to linger in Alamigo to apprise Raban and the others of how the land lies in Garlemald. Then mayhap you would do the same for us. Indeed, it was just as Lee said, worse in fact, devastation as far as the eye could see. Nirva and the third, however, were noble by their absence. Might they have met their end at the hands of Xenos and Fandaniel? Perhaps, or perhaps they simply lost the will to fight. Yeah. You see, the capital has been plunged into deadly silence, with one exception, the Imperial Palace. It was a busy place before the war, but it has grown busier still, with thrones of soldiers and civilians working there day and night to rebuild or rather transform it. Transform it into what? That is a difficult question to answer. The construction is vast and unsettling to behold, like something from a nightmare. According to Ranji, certain aspects of its design were clearly devised with the manipulation of ether in mind. Magitech, in other words. Yet, as unnerving as said edifice was, it was nothing next to the sight of its builders. They swarmed the place like so many insects, working with nary a word exchanged between them. No one overseeing seeing construction, no one barking orders. It was as if they were possessed or tempered. Ah, we wanted to investigate more closely, but given our suspicions, it seemed wiser not to take the risk. If Daniel could bind Bahamut to his will, might he have done the same to the people of Garlemald? Whatever the truth may be, this information is certain to prove valuable. You have our thanks. Well, be sure to save some for Ranjay, which reminds me, I have a message from Alamigo. Raban is hosting a meeting to discuss the latest findings in the towers, and he requests our presence. Then why not leave that to us? You must be wary from your mission. No, I'm fine. Those towers have been on my mind since I first spied one on the way back, and I'm keen to get to the bottom of this. In that case, I shall stay and begin looking into another matter. As I promised Kyle, we need not all attend. Very well, I suggest the rest of us make our way to Alamigo forthwith. And the sooner we leave, the more time we will have to speak with Duranji before the meeting. Ooh, I can speak with Yastola alone. If you are curious to know what I will be doing in your absence, let us speak of it another time. At present, Kyle and I have no more than a hypothesis. Tell me! Tell me! Okay. Okay. Where's Kyle? Is she here? Oh, Kyle. Okay. I guess I'll teleport back. Let's see. Ba ba. Da, da, da. I wonder if there have been any developments regarding the Malja's abductions. It can be no mere coincidence that the incidents began occurring just as the towers first appeared. Although I was only in Revenant's Toll in a short while, I did manage to squeeze in a brief drink with Philemon. Spring water only, it being a flying visit. The Royal Menagerie is still closed to civilians. Daniel and his pet certainly left their mark. Well, we may safely assume that the Telefari are behind the works being carried out on the Imperial Palace, we can only guess at their purpose. My friends, much and more have I heard of your travails in our absence. Heartened am I to see you all hale and whole, as are we to see you safely return from your mission. Naranje, I trust Thinkrin made you feel welcome. Well, well, if it isn't Alphino and his merry band. Arivald, whatever are you doing here? When we spoke Viva Link's Pearl, you told me you'd be away on a mission. And who's to say this isn't part of it? But enough about that. It's good to see you looking so similar. I thought you'd have grown a bit taller after a whole year in another world. But apparently not. Well, I am sorry to disappoint you. While my soul may be a year older, my body has hardly aged, as you are well aware. And may I remind you that we Alzen are known to be late bloomers, especially in terms of our height. Mark my words, the day will come when even a great Aurus, such as yourself, will crane your neck to meet my eye. Aye, 'twas not until my 20th summer that I myself outgrew my boyish proportions, though Moonbreda towered over me nonetheless. Arivald brings out the best in Alphino, doesn't he? They both seem so at ease in each other's company. It's almost endearing. Indeed. So, what exactly brings you here? Oh, for Dola mostly. We need to go over a few things before we set out. Set out. Wait, does this have something to do with the towers? What gave you that impression? Actually, tell me later. You've got a meeting to go to. I'll see you afterwards, alright? If Dordola is going with him, that must mean. My apologies. As Arivald rightly pointed out, we have a meeting to attend. Let us be about it.
Ere we begin, I would like to offer my gratitude to Masters Thancred and Urianger. 'Tis no small feat to infiltrate the Imperial capital and live to tell the tale, much less in times of civil war. Thanks to them, we may plot our course in full knowledge of how the winds blow in Garlemald.
Full glad are we to have been of service. But verily, such dangers as we did encounter pale into insignificance next to those faced by our comrades. An Ascian, armed with the might of Bahamut, bent on bringing about the final days.
Theatrix. He sought only to make a show of the power at the Telophoroid's disposal. But since then, we have seen no sign of this Fandaniel or his worm. And while we've done what we can to bolster our defenses, there's no telling where he might strike next.
Whenever and wherever it may be, we must use the intervening time to learn more of our enemy. 'Twas with this in mind that we dispatched scouts to investigate the towers.
Our advance party took longer than expected to return. And when they did, they tried to kill us. Luckily, I'd seen that sort of thing before, and we were able to restrain them before they did any harm. Then it was just a matter of letting the Porksies do their work.
Are you saying they were tempered?
Once they'd come back to their senses, they told us everything they could. It seems that just as they were getting close to the tower, they heard an ear-splitting roar, and that was the last thing they remembered. But what worries me most is what they were saying right before they attacked. Glory be to Garlemald.
The Tempered have heretofore ever been thralls to primal entities. Yet these hapless souls were compelled to accept a nation as the object of their devotion. This calleth into question all that we know of the condition.
Would that the unsettling news ended there. Alas, there is more. Following the earlier reports of missing Amalja, we have learnt that other beast tribes have suffered similar losses. And we now have reason to believe that the abductions are connected to the appearance of the towers. Our scouts sighted black-garbed figures leading shackled Ixal in the direction of the tower in Dravania. The Temple Knights were able to intercept them before they could reach their destination, liberating the Ixal and apprehending their captors, each of whom was found to be equipped with Garlean arms and armor.
So the Empire is the common thread.
With the support of Xenos, it seems likely that Fandaniel has rallied a faction of the splintered Garlean army to the banner of the Telophoroi.
Lord Hien reached the same conclusion when I shared our findings with Doma. The plan had been to march on Garlemald from the east and west in order to force a peace treaty. But the situation has changed. Dealing with the threat of the towers must come first. Given the nature of the enemy and the proven risk of tempering, I could think of few suitable candidates to aid in this task. But I am confident in my choice.
What?
Resistant to primal influence as they are, they can investigate the towers without fear of being turned.
We are glad to put our gifts to use, Commander.
Gifted or not, going behind enemy lines remains a perilous undertaking. But we must know more if we're to strike back at our foe. I'm counting on you.
If it would give us the upper hand, I'd do it 100 times over. We won't let you down.
That concludes the briefing. You two, make ready and join your escort.
Are you certain about this, Arenvold?
I am. Come on, let's talk outside.
I accept that numbers can prove a hindrance when infiltrating enemy territory, but to set only 2? If it's a small talk you're after, look elsewhere. Like I said, she's cute. Now that it's out in the open, I don't have to keep it under my proverbial hat anymore.
So you know, I've already gone through all the formalities at the Rising Stones. Made sure to inform Jamoldva and Vmar at Ralga's Reach as well.
Arenvold, I admire your enthusiasm, but this is far more dangerous than anything you have done before.
I know the risks. And I also know what's in store if we don't stop Fandaniel from carrying out his plan. With this power of mine, I can make a difference. If I stood idly by, I would regret it for the rest of my life.
And you, Fudola? Is this what you want?
What are you asking me for? It's not like I have any say in the matter.
Don't pretend. We both know Commander Aldin gave you a chance to refuse. And you didn't.
So the Empire's finished, is it? But that's what they're all saying. That the great and glorious Garlemald slit its own throat. And now, from out of its twitching carcass crawls the Telophoroi with bloody Xenos at its head! I fought for Garlemald. Killed for Garlemald. What was I part of? I need to know. Whatever it is, I need to know.
Very well. If your hearts are set on this, I shall not stand in your way.
If you've finished with your touching display of camaraderie, I have a question. Which tower are you planning to investigate, exactly?
Well, the one in Girabani is said to be tightly guarded. It's patrol after patrol out there, apparently. We'd be spotted before we got anywhere near it. Which is why we've set our sights on the one in Pagalthan instead. There shouldn't be anything like as many Imperials to worry about down there.
Even so, I doubt the local Amalja will look kindly on it if they catch you sneaking around in their territory.
Fordola and I had a chance to learn the lie of the land in our previous forays there. We might still find trouble, but at least we won't lose our way. Well, we'd best not keep them waiting any longer.
Mayhap when all of this is over, we could take another trip to Loxeld. I would have you know I've become a rather capable swimmer since our last visit.
Ha! I'll believe that when I see it. Though, to be fair, getting into deep water does seem to be a scion's lot in life. Take care, eh? It means a lot, you know. You coming with me.
I'll still owe you for saving my skin, don't I? Can't return the favour if I'm not there.
I dare say you'll get your chance before long. That Fandaniel sounds like a tricky customer. Too much for the likes of me, anyway. But we both know I'd just be another soldier if it weren't for my gift. And I need to be a damn sight more than that given what's coming. I realise I can't hold a candle to a hero like the Warrior of Light or Alphino, for that matter. He might look like he's 12, but he's seen more action than most people see in a lifetime. No, the fact is I'm nothing like them, and maybe I never will be. But I'll be damned if I don't try. They're counting on me. On us. So let's give it our all.
He does not want for conviction, that much is certain. So let us have faith in him. Him and Fordola both. While they see to the towers, I would attend to another task. Chasing down this lunar Bahamut.
Bloody thing. Can you hear me? It's Tataru! I'm happy to say we've managed to find Estinian. And I'm sorry to say he went running off again the moment we told him about Bahamut. But he did mutter something about heading to Ishgard, so if you're quick, you might still be able to catch him.
Even if we set out this instant, he may already have left by the time we arrive. Have her send the Bonanza to Ishgard. It may prove useful should we need to give chase.
Gladly. I'll see to it as soon as Kryl and I get back to the Rising Stones. Good luck.
While you go off on your dragoon hunt, Urianger and I will return to headquarters. We have much to tell the others.
I wish you every success in your search for our elusive friend. May we all meet again ere long.
Ba, 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 ba. Estain Wormblood, the Azure Dragoon. His was another name that featured prominently in the history books, and it will be fascinating to meet the man in the flesh. I got the impression Arvold is a lot more apprehensive than he lets on. He will have been grateful Alphino was there to see him off. So Justinian was bound for Ishgard. Whatever it is that brings him home, we must hope it will keep him there long enough for us to find him. Come, there is no time to lose. I have only visited Ishgard once before. After the devastation of the 8th Umbral Calamity, to see the place in all its former, forgive me, in all its original glory is tantalizing prospect indeed. Assuming we find him, this will be my first encounter with the famous Istinian, and if he's half the man Aphno claims, I fully expect to go weak at the knees, perhaps do a bit of fainting while I'm at it. Stop talking about me, jeez. All present. Good. Let us split up and search for Estadian. Since we're relatively new to this place, Graha and I will look around the open spaces, the squares, the markets, the whatnot. You and Kira, you delve into the nooks and crannies. Very well. Let us reconvene at the airship, landing later with or without a sin. Good luck. I think I shall begin at the Sky Steel Manufactory, so perhaps you could try the Congression. Lucia may well have heard news of our friend's return. It seems like only yesterday that the Dragon Song War was an inescapable fact of life here, and now Ishgard is united in healing the wounds left by centuries of conflict. Perhaps later there will be time for us to see for ourselves how the restoration is proceeding. Yeah, I want to find Graha and Alice and see what they have to offer. Ba 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 ba. Ba ba da ba 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 ba. Ah, man. Been what, ages since we've been here? Well, technically not, but it just feels like it. I really like Ishgard. Thinking about it now, it's just like I really like a cold climate, not like extremely cold, but like where I would say maybe like 69 degrees with the sun like flashing towards your face. That's like the best weather. Well, 60s or 60s to 69. I don't know. But anything like lower or higher are like the worst. What the fuck? What the hell? This like some of the tunes in Final Fantasy, like right now, this one, I think, what's it called? Fuck. Can't remember the name of it, but it's like, okay. This is a xylophone, I think. It's the ones with it's the ones with a stick and like a ball at the end, and once you hit it, it makes sounds. I think it's a xylophone, but I'm not completely. Oh, hello! Speaking of, I spied a few Elezen with spears, but they were all temple knights, none of whom had seen Estedian. Like when it feels like when fuck, I can't even talk tonight. But yeah, when the xylophone, I think I just hit and makes a sound, that reminds me of a tune in Dot Hack. God, I love Dot Hack. Sad that I would say the only thing I really enjoyed about Dot Hack was the original 4 games. GU is kind of pushing it. I did like the combat at GU, but the story just it was really bad, in my opinion. Now I'm looking for Graha. Oh, hello, Lalafell. So happy that this game has prospered. Ah, so good. I want more people to play this game because it deserves the amount of players driving into their into this game. It's just it's really fucking good. I just can't wait. Can't wait for Endwalker. Endwalker is about like a few weeks to go away. Ah, speaking of weeks, Grahatia is good in its prime. Would those I left behind could see it too. All right. Now back to track. Endwalker's pretty close away. I have so many things to do, so little time. I need to farm a little bit on my main. I'm gonna have to farm a little bit on here. Wish I had more time. The Forgotten Night. Good day to you, Warrior of Light. Lord Emmerich sent word that you would be attending the meeting in Alamigo, so I gather you have not come in search of him. To what then do we owe the pleasure of your visit? I see. No, we were not aware Sir Estienne had returned to Isgard, but as I expect you remember, he is wont to come and go as he pleases. Mayhap he came seeking an audience with Lord Emmerich, only to find him absent. In any event, I am afraid I cannot help you. Perhaps one of your companions has fared better. Totally worth coming to see, trying to find Graha and Alice. Ba, 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 da, da, da. God, I fucking love Final Fantasy XIV music. Ah! So fucking good. What's up, bitch? Sir Emmerich is every bit as elusive as Uraje suggested.
No sign of him. Not that I've ever met him before, but the way Alphino goes on about him, I'm fairly sure I could pick him out in a crowd.
Speaking of which, it does seem awfully quiet. If the erstwhile Azure Dragoon had returned to Ishgard, would it not be a source of general excitement?
First the Scion's Coinkeeper, and now you. I'm beginning to think these meetings are more than mere coincidence. Not that I'm complaining. It's been too long.
Too long?
You look an ilm taller and twice as rugged. It suits you, Alphino. Quieter, though. Have you been giving him lessons on how to be the strong, silent type?
I am not Alphino! If the two of you are such firm friends, perhaps you should remember what he looks like. And what do you mean, rugged? Ugh! Had my brother mentioned what an oaf you are, I'd never have bothered looking for you in the first place.
Estinian Wormblood, the Azure Dragoon. He who fought and felled the dread worm Nidhogg at the Warrior of Light's side. To think the day would come when I should see this living legend with my own eyes.
Would someone mind explaining what is going on?
Is everything all right? I thought I heard Alize shouting. Estinian! It's been too long. No, it's quite understandable. That was hardly the first time we've been confused for one another. Nor, I suspect, will it be the last.
Well, I, for one, will not be making that mistake again. What I will say, for the second time today, is that you've grown. Inside and out. I can tell.
One can't remain a spoiled little lordling forever, you know.
At least someone's having a good time. You know, when we were growing up, Alphino would never befriend other boys because he couldn't stand the thought of not being in charge. But maybe that's changed. He seems just as happy around Estinian as he does Arenvald. Keep him to my... You're joking, aren't you? I'd be glad if someone would take him off my hands.
No rest for the righteous, eh? Speaking of which, I was just on my way to borrow an airship to take me to Azis La.
Azis La? How could I forget? The dragon with whom Bahamut shared the deepest of bonds.
Aye, Tiamat, his mate. Even now she remains imprisoned on Azis La, though her remorse binds her faster than any shackle.
I see. As the one who first summoned Bahamut, you believe she may be able to shine some light on his latest incarnation.
Might I suggest that we make the journey to Azisla together? I'm not sure if Tataru mentioned this, but we Scions have an airship of our own now.
I see no reason why not. Assuming your sister can bear the thought of sharing a deck with me.
Be my guest. But confuse me with Alphino again and I'll throw you overboard. Ugh! I don't know who he thinks he is, but he's nothing like Alphino painted him to be.
I will admit, he is not exactly as I imagined him either. Based on what I had read of the man, I think I was expecting someone a little less... blunt?
Oh, man. Alright, let's talk to Alice. Not to complain, but I didn't expect to find myself here again quite so soon. So this is the Delta Quadrant, where countless dragons yet lie imprisoned. The great Tiamat among them. Tiamat summoned Bahamut once before. She may have again, willfully or no. It has been quite some time since last I set foot in Azis La, but I understand the three of you were here rather more recently. I don't suppose you chanced to meet with Tiamat during your visit. Alas not. We have no cause to set foot here in the Delta Quadrant, but I have studied the relevant records, which is not to say I wouldn't appreciate a first-hand account of your dealings with her. Well then, Akira is the person to ask. As far as I know, she's the only one of us to have met Tiamat face to face. Even now, she remains a prisoner of the Allegan Empire. Let's just say it helped that Midgarsorm was there to introduce me. Ah, yes, you were a friend of her father. I too have met with Tiamat. After the Dragon Song War came to a close, I came here to speak with her, a worm who had fought her own war against men in another age. I wished to know if she yet harbored thoughts of revenge, and asked as much. She said no. My hatred for your kind was extinguished long ago. But the guilt she feels for resurrecting Bahamut burns on undimmed. It torments her even now. I see. Then your original reason for coming here was out of concern that Tiamat had been forced to summon Bahamut. Nidhogg is a part of me. I feel his emotions as my own, and I know that he would not allow his sister to be made a tool of evil. In his absence, it falls to me to watch over her. Alright, we shall continue in the next episode. Till then, fare thee well.